Giarnni Regini-Moran of Great Britain.
He's a gymnast who tends to make the difficult look easy.
Sometimes somebody has to grab the competition by the scruff of the neck and take the opportunity. And it might well be that Giarnni Regini-Moran of the host nation has done exactly that.
Thank you for coming on, mate.
No, I mean, thank you for having me. It's new to this stuff, so I look forward to it. I'm excited. It's good to be here.
I'm sure after today, mate, people are going to be ringing you up, messaging you, because your story and you as a person, mate, you as a person, this show isn't around followers. This show isn't around getting the most famous people in the world. This show is around getting the most inspirational, people who are going to motivate, people who are going to educate, people who've got knowledge of not just getting to the top, but getting through the tough times, the hard times, the low times, the bits what people don't see. People see a nice shiny gold medal there, which, by the way, is what an achievement. I'm sure it's not the only one. We'll come on to that. But your story from where you first started, what made you get into gymnastics, I think first of where we start is, how old are you now?
24.
24.
Yeah.
So, 24, you're currently living in Manchester.
Yeah.
You're originally from down south?
Yeah.
Whereabouts?
All over the place, to be honest. So, originally from a place in Suffolk called Lowestoft, moved up to Dartford, moved up to Gravesend, then moved up to Dartford. So yeah, Kent. Was there for the most of my teenage years, and just recently moved up to Manchester. So yeah, I lived about, I've lived around, and
part of the journey, innit?
Exactly, that's it.
Anyone in sport is part of the journey,
Yeah.
So, when did it start? When did the bug start? When was the first session? Why did you get into it?
So for me, I think my parents were very sporty, and they took me, this gymnastics centre had just opened in my hometown, and I was like 2 years old. I was a little toddler, a little baby, and they do like parent and toddler sessions, parent and baby sessions, play sessions, and I just went along to one of those, and then when I was 3 years old, I was able to then be put into like what they call preschool, which was classes that were basically had a little bit more structure to them. You went round, you done a few little disciplines, a few activities, and I just loved it. It was so fun. It was almost like back then, it was like doing like mini obstacle courses, you're walking along the beam and you're stepping over bean bags, and it was that thrill that it gave me, and I just wanted to keep going back. And I suppose for me, that's where I then found that passion. I'd gone in, and some days you'd see some of the older boys there, and I'd look in the window and I'd be like, oh, like, Mum, look, those boys are walking on their hands. They're doing these handstand things. They're walking along on their hands. I was like, I've never seen that, because we walk on our feet, and I'm like, these guys are walking on their hands. And as well, I remember one massive thing for me was I really wanted to learn how to do a backflip. And I thought it would be really cool. Imagine if I could go to school and show my friends a backflip on the grass. Like, that was for me. It was basically how it all started, and obviously the rest is,
So obviously from toddler age, 2, 3, then when did it start to become like a bit more serious, and the structure? I'm sure you started to train a bit more regularly.
Yeah.
What age was that?
So I did my first competition when I was 6 years old. I've got videos somewhere, and I remember crying so hard. I came third, and I did a floor routine, and I was just all over the place. I fell over. It was just an absolute disaster. But that was my first competition, and that was, from the age of 5, that's when it became 4 or 5. I was like taking it seriously at that age. And I think the thing with gymnastics as well, you've got to be in it from a very young age. It's a sport that requires a lot of technique and a lot of discipline, and that needs to be drilled into you from a young age, because there's so many basic skills, key skills that you need to learn when you're younger. And and yeah, I mean, from there, 6 years old, did my first competition. Then went on to do another one when I was 7. By the time I was 8, heading towards 9 years old, I was winning the national grades, became national champion. When I was 10, became national champion again, and you know, just from there, I was in the GB team from 9 years old, and that's where it just started to take off.
So obviously you're 9, 10 years of age. You know, my background is football. You know, so you as an early high performer. You know, like myself and many other people, you're going into a sector where you've actually pulled away from the majority and you're in the minority now, which are really getting some structure, getting probably a lot more meticulous work, you know, because they can see the talent, but no one ever knows where the talent's going to go without the dedication, the sacrifices, the mindset. So what was the first real milestone when you were younger to get you on the map to people to go, this guy is super talented? Everyone can see you're talented, but you know, it's when you get on that stage, because I see people, I see children, I see adults, I see first team players who are some of the most talented people in the world, but when it comes to being focused, when it comes to competition, anxiety can kick in, you know, so many factors. What was the moment where Giarnni arrived?
I think for me it was probably earlier stages when I was competing at the British Championships. You're able to make, they used to have it set up so that actually the juniors would compete on one day, the Friday, the seniors would compete on the Saturday, and then they'd have the finals on the Sunday, which was then called the Masters. Now, it was top 8, and they used to take that from junior ranks to senior ranks. Right. So if you was a junior and you made the top 8, you'd be up against the seniors. Yeah. And as a junior, I was constantly, especially on the floor and vault, making those finals against those seniors. You know, the ones that have been to London Olympics, the ones that are, you know, going to World Championships, European Championships, all those sort of competitions. And I was there amongst those guys. But I say for me, the biggest thing was, as a junior, always is making that junior European Championship team. That was seen as like the biggest thing. If you made that team, you was onto something special, basically. Yeah. And
so what age is this? What age are you now?
So I first made the European team when I was 15. Right. 15. So yeah, I mean, you know, you'll have your odd internationals here and there. Obviously, between the age of 9 and 15, you know, you're doing your ones where you're building up, but they don't necessarily, they're not massive. They don't really mean too much. It's about just getting you out there and getting you exposed to, you know, that international stage. But it was always the team. The boys had always won the Junior European Championships. They'd won it 4 times in a row, and as a junior, they only happen every 2 years. So it was coming around to us, and it was like, okay, you know, they've won it the past 4 times. We need to, we need to win it the 5th time. So being part of that team was something massive because, you know, you had to be. It was a team that they were really sending to go win it. And then, I mean, I did a lot of hard work. Like, we all worked so hard, and I made that team. We went out there and we won it.
Did you?
Yeah, we made it 5 times GB European champions. Amazing. I then went on to win the floor final, and I got a silver medal on the vault. So
fantastic.
It was but during that Europeans as well, you know, not many people know. The night before the finals, I rolled my ankle off a curb, running to get the bus was about to leave. Oh my God. Heading back to the hotel, running, got my big bag on my back. You know, 15 years old, rolled my ankle off a curb. And I knew straight away I'd done something to my foot. And I didn't want to tell anyone. I didn't want to tell the coaches. I didn't want to tell the physios. I was thinking, I'm sure it's fine. I've just rolled my ankle. And it's a crazy story. So, you know, the night before I became European champion on floor, I was in a hospital getting X-rayed, and I was on crutches. So, it was.
Well, that you know, I've took players around the world. So in a similar capacity, where you can compare it is you're away from home, you've travelled, you've put in months and months and months and months of preparation, sacrifice, early nights, not seeing your friends, not seeing your family, missing engagements, missing days out, you know, while everyone's having fun, you're working, you're focused on one thing, yeah? And certain people, you know, it's like a pressure cooker for me.
Yeah.
So you can do the work in the environment what you used to doing, but then that level of intensity, sacrifice, commitment, you have to maintain that no matter where you are.
Yeah.
Wherever you turn up, that needs to go with you. And I think that's where level, and obviously at that age, you're fulfilling your potential, but you've not fulfilled it yet.
Yeah.
Because you're on your journey on the way up. And little things will come in your way. It could be getting ill. It could be getting injured. It could be something happens a million miles away what you can't affect.
Yeah.
But you still got to perform. And so many people would use that as an excuse.
Yeah.
I didn't do that because of that. Whereas, you know, the way you've just told that there is, look, show's got to go on, you know. And sometimes you've got to put whatever, you know, is in the back of your mind to the side, and you've just got to try your best.
Yeah.
Because if you don't, it'll eat you up for the rest of your life. And I've seen so many players who, you know, and I get calls around loads of stuff. There's so many different factors what can cause stress, can cause worry, anxiety, and it's mindset.
Yeah.
You know, mindset is so important, and these moments, they're testing.
Yeah.
But when you look back, you know, that little moment of being in a hospital the night before, worrying, going, oh no, it's over, da-da-da, and then you rocking up and then getting what, silver medal?
I got a gold on the floor and a silver on the wall.
Sorry, so you did that on purpose then, see?
Yeah.
Which is amazing.
Yeah.
It's amazing, because you know what? You might not got a gold medal, you might not have worked as hard as what you had to work, and obviously in your game is what you put your body through.
Yeah.
You know, your body goes through hell, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I think that's an amazing story, and I think that's an amazing example of, you know, you're never going to get it easy.
Yeah.
To get an accolade like that, to win a Premier League title, a Champions League title, to win at Wimbledon, you know, to win a World Championship in boxing, MMA, you know, whatever it is, you have to put your body and your mind through places which some people probably never ever go to.
Yeah.
And
Definitely.
it's a deep, dark place at times, but you've got to know how to manage yourself in the moments, and I think, you know, that there is unbelievable. So then, obviously, I'm sure that's one of many tournaments, championships, what you went to. So then, as you become a senior gymnast, you know, how do things start to change for you then?
So I just come off the back of a fantastic European Championships again. It was my second European Championships. And they said to me, to be considered for the Olympic Games, because I was so young, I was, you know, really pushing these guys in the team. I was like, really, it wasn't my time, but I was there or thereabouts with what I was doing. So they just said to me, you know, okay, to be considered, we want you to go to the Europeans and we want you to win the team gold, win gold on floor, win gold on vault, medal on the parallel bars, and we want you to win the all-round. So I was like, well, that's what I've got to do just to be considered, like, you know, because I'm so young and I'm wanting to push these people out of the team.
So
but
how old are you now?
24.
24, yeah. So how old was you
I
then?
was 17 at this
17,
point.
right,
Yeah.
yeah.
Turning 8. I would have turned 18 going out at the Olympics. So, so I done that. I went there. We won team gold. I won all-round gold. I won floor gold. Got a silver on the vault and a silver on the parallel bars. And, you know, they were happy. Although I didn't get the gold on the vault, you know, I came second by 0.1, which is literally the same as having a flexed toe or taking one small step. That's it. So they said, you know what, you've gone out there, we set your target so high that we didn't think it was achievable, but you've achieved it. Like, you know, I got called into the office, had to sign all the forms, the late forms about the Olympics and stuff. And then as a junior going to a senior, in our routines, we do 8, as a junior, we do 8 elements, 8 skills that make up the routine.
Yeah.
But then when you go to senior, you jump to 10 skills. So now on each apparatus, I had to find another 2 skills, or another 2 elements that I could put into my routine to make up that requirement, that start value. So, you know, one day I was just going in, I was working on the high bar, again, because that would have been massively important. I had the floor, I had the vault, I had the parallel bars, but actually to be considered for that team, I needed a stronger high bar routine. So I was working on a release and catch. In my routine, I did just like the double backflip over to catch the bar again.
Just the double backflip.
Yeah.
Go on.
Just the double back. So this time I was trying to do the double backflip with a twist and then catch.
Yeah.
And it was, you know, it was something so new. I'd done it before. I've done it, you know, I've caught them before. But this one time it was just a day where I was just missing, you know, the bar's here and I'm just missing. I'm just tapping my fingertips. The timing's off. My technique's a little bit off. And you know what it's like. We have such a great team, great atmosphere. They're like, "Come on, G, you got this." You know, everyone's trying to fire you up, pump you up.
So when you're training now, where are you training? Is this at your club or is this GB?
So this is training at National Centre.
Right. Lilleshall.
Lilleshall National Centre, yeah. Getting ready for the Olympic Games trials, and the whole team's there. So obviously boys from different clubs, but they're all part of the GB team. They're like, you know, "Come on, G, just go for it. You know, commit, grab the bar. You know, because that's what you need sometimes."
Can I ask you a question? So, you know, in gymnastics, you know, as a sport, one thing is fearless. You have to be fearless.
Yeah.
You have to be bravery, fearless, motivated.
Yeah.
I think you got to accept you're going to get hurt at times.
Yeah.
You know, which what you're saying there is, it's like, I call it drilling as such. So it's a technical action. Yeah, technical action. You perform a technical action. Before you perform it, your preparation to do it, your angles, your timings, your approach, your speed, yeah? Then you've got executing it.
Yeah.
So from when you're actually performing that action, your momentum, your angle, your distance again, all starts again in that process. Yeah. And me being obsessive with what I do and being obsessive with other people around technique, timing, movement, preparation, execution, doing things aggressively, you know, we can be there for hours.
Yeah.
And some people, like, you know, don't realize how monotonous that can be. But when you fucking get it, there's no better feeling, is there?
Nah,
do you know what I mean?
Yeah. It's, like you say, it's everything. And especially, you know, we're swinging around a bar, a metal bar. You know, we're moving it with our bodies, you know, and then you can change the tension. So, okay, we have the bar tighter so it doesn't move as much.
Yeah.
But again, it's what we're having to do when we swing around the bars. We're having to control a metal bar. We're having to put that metal bar in a direction that we want it. You know, it's like action reaction. Yeah. We pull it this way so that it brings us this way. You know, so it's not just about controlling our bodies. It's about controlling a metal bar. You know, it's the technique.
You've got dexterity, grip. You know, this is the thing, and you know, in any sport, when you get to the top levels, coaching, athletes, players, whoever it is, fighters, you know, these conversations don't happen enough. So for me, you know, I know we're going in a different direction a little bit here. It's amazing to be able to talk to you and be able to relate to that. Yeah. Because that's how meticulous I am. You know, it really pisses me off when people like don't really think about what they're doing, and it could be like a real basic change. Yeah. But it's about executing it flawlessly. Yeah. Because then once you get in the habit of doing that and that process, you perform it over and over. Your consistency, your execution gets better. Yeah. You can allow it to go quicker. You can move quicker. You can be more aggressive, whatever that is. And especially in your, you know, your training schedule, you guys are drilling over and over and over again. So moving forward now then, let's talk about how your week looks. So, Monday
now is for me a basics day. So Monday's it's about setting yourself up for the week. So we train 6 days a week, Monday through to Saturday. You know, after a day off, you feel a little bit, and it's only 1 day off, but for gymnasts, you feel rusty. You feel a little bit like, you know, your joints feel a bit stiff. So it's just about feeling that rhythm, feeling, you know, your body, get your body moving. It's like pommel horse. We won't do nothing other than just basic double leg circles. We're just circling. We're circling on one handle. We're circling on the lever. You know, facing inwards, facing outwards. Again, high bar.
So is that like your bread and butter as such?
Yeah,
So
it's just
football,
a real basics.
It's the most repeated actions you would use within gymnastics is the same as what I would say passing, receiving a ball in football. Don't get bored of the basics. You have to hammer the basics because they're your bread and butter.
For us on Monday is literally, I suppose, as a footballer, doing a session of just passing, basically passing, receiving, pass, receive. That is our Monday. Swinging around. There's no really hard skills. It's more about the basics.
Refinement.
And then so that, you know, that's a Monday. Monday's focusing on the basics, focusing about a lot on handstands. As a gymnast, everything's done. You know, you're constantly in handstand. Whether, you know, you're doing a skill and then you finish in handstand, whether you're swinging through handstand, whether, you know, even when you're at a bottom, even when you're hanging from a bar, it's still a handstand shape. You know. So for us, it's a lot of basics, conditioning, core work.
So when you say conditioning, what's conditioning? Is that because a lot of people, normal people, who, sorry, take that back, we're all normal, but people who have probably never been into sport at a real high level, but have got a real interest in sport, conditioning for them might be going for a run, conditioning for them might be going to the gym. So can you just explain a bit more on that?
Yeah, so for us it's, we're doing chin-ups, dips, we're doing leg lifts, you know, toes touch the bar, we're doing press sets on the parallel bars, you know, be like straight bodies, pike, straddle, hold.
So whilst you're doing this, do you have a coach with you?
Yeah, the coach will be in the gym.
And how tough are the coaches with you?
They're not as tough on the conditioning because we know what we have to do now. It's like we go in and we know what we have to do.
Take ownership of that.
But it's on a Monday as well. We always have to start with a leg circuit, but that's something that's managed by him now. So he'll be in, right, boys, come on, leg circuit, get the stuff. So we have to get the blocks out. It's like rebounding over blocks, running around for 2 minutes. Over foam, like the little foam blocks, single legs, hopping, single legs, hopping back, the other leg. Just a lot of plyometrics, a lot of rebounding with running, squat jumps, get a crash mat, which is really soft, and having to do like tuck jumps, so you're getting the absolute burn through your legs. That's the stuff where we're pushed, because obviously it's easier to want to quit and that stuff because it's uncomfortable. You're like, when you're doing it, you're like, oh my God, you know, you feel sick, you feel like, why am I doing this? And that's where you need to be pushed, you know.
Do you think though, them sessions are the sessions which, you know, it's, I think when you're in a physical session and you're taking away any tactical stuff or any technical stuff, and it is just purely physical, a massive part of that is psychological. You know, willingness to get through, willingness to do it properly. Don't just do it. Do the bare minimum. Get as much out of it as you possibly can. And I think where I've seen a lot of athletes and people, players, be high achievers, high performers, they're the ones who go above and beyond in them sessions. You know, they don't settle for just doing that. They always do extra. If they do it wrong, they start again. You know. So the rest of your week then, how's the rest of your week set?
Yeah, and then it's the same. It's, you know, Tuesday we go in, we do a bit more intense. We work on skills. We work combinations. So, for example, it's about, you know, gymnastics is about doing. It's all about numbers, repetition. So Tuesday will be I'd say high bar, for example. When I do my release and catch, it's like, well, actually, I need to catch 3, then I can move on to my next thing.
Yeah.
So it's all about, rather than just getting on, doing 1, catch 1, and then move on.
Quality over quantity.
It's get on, we're going to do 3 now. We're going to be really focused on doing 3 good, clean ones, catching the bar, so that we know that actually, okay, today I've hit 3 out of 3, rather than I've just gone up and done 1 and then moved on.
So a massive part of what you do is confidence.
Yeah.
A massive part of what you do, I can imagine, is being resilient, you know, and being resilient to the point where if things are going well, you strive to do more. Your mind, your body probably feels like you want to do more. But if you're having a bad day, I can imagine in here it's tough.
Yeah.
Because it's you v you, innit?
Yeah.
You know, at the end of the day.
That's the biggest thing. Your mind gives up before your body gives up, massively. We all know, well, I know my flesh and bones can do this. If, you know, it's capable of doing this. It's my brain that's telling me you're tired, my brain telling me I'm sore. That's, you know, that's when it's hard. That's those days.
And I bet as well, how many people do you train with, like normally?
I think there's a group, I think in our group there's like 5 of us.
So
4,
there's 5?
Yeah.
So there's 4 people on point, 4 people landing, you know, flawless movements, technique bang on, executing everything the way they should. And if you're not on it, you know, them moments, and I think sometimes when you're in a smaller group, people get found out.
Yeah.
They can get found out. They can get found out as in the level.
Yeah.
They can get found out as in the potential, and they can get found out about mentality.
Yeah.
Because we can all talk a good game, but actions speak louder than words, don't
Yeah.
they? And also as well, if things aren't going the right way and things are tough, you know, do you show that? How does that come out, or doesn't it come out at all? Because some people, poker faces,
Yeah.
you don't know what's going on. They could look like they're not bothered, but in their head, they could be like, this is tough.
Yeah.
You know,
I think I'm one that does show a bit more.
the growling,
A bit more,
shouting.
yeah.
Yeah.
Because that's it. I feel like you got to just let out your emotions.
Expressions,
You're training. This is what I live for. This is my sport. This is what I train for. And through the good days and the bad days, the good days I'll be screaming and shouting like, "Come on!" Like, you know, I've just done something incredible. Or I'm really good. I'm really happy. But on the bad days as well, you know, you get angry, you get frustrated, you know, and you let that out. You let that. So for me personally, I think it's harder to keep it in, because by keeping it in,
I'm the same.
it's like I'm holding on to something.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, like that's really annoyed me. I'm letting that out. Reset, let it out.
I think sometimes as well, it's like you have to be your number one coach and your number one motivator at times.
Yeah.
So, you know, it could be, you know, we all have good days, we all have bad days, you know. But I even do it to myself now. I've got this thing where I clap my hands and go, come on, Mark, you know, like that. And then someone will go, you're talking to yourself again? I'm like, yeah, I have to. Because you know why, at the end of the day, that's my little way of me getting back, you know. And I'm talking just day-to-day life, you know, when it's a long day, tough day, whatever goes on. So, obviously, your week is intense.
Yeah.
What duration do you think you train? How long do you think you're training for daily?
So at the moment, I'm training 4:30 till around 8. This week, actually been doing about 1 till 5:30. But then also, I have to do like S&C sessions as well.
Yeah.
So yesterday, I did 1 till 5:30. Then I did an S&C session after. Got back home, got my stuff ready, went to the gym. Went to the gym about 7:30. Was in there for about just under an hour, and then got back. You know, so it's hard because we're training. You know, we're training for hours, and sometimes could be even longer. Sometimes there's double sessions. If there's double sessions, we're doing, especially at camps, we're doing 9:30 to 12:31. Then we're doing 3:30 till like 5:30.
And that break in between. So obviously you're fueling up, you're hydrating again. What about rest? Do you sleep? Do you sleep as much as you can?
Yeah, we try to. So more so when we're at camps, we obviously, Lillishall, for example, we'd go back, we'd have food, we'd go back to our rooms. And And depending on how hard or tough that week is, literally we'll be in the rooms and we'll just be like zonked
It's
out.
like pre-season with the lads. Yeah.
And that's it. And
the
people think it's weird because they're like, oh, you're having a nap in the middle of the day. Like, you know, my dad will sometimes wind me up saying, oh, you're an old man or something, and you're taking your, you know, afternoon naps. I'm like, you don't understand.
I just need it. I need it.
Yeah, like I've got to go train again in a couple of hours. I need to get some rest. Like
your body, mate, your tolerance level of that physical demand, and you know, speaking to other gymnasts, I think quite a lot of MMA fighters are very similar, because your body is being conditioned in so many different ways, and it has to move so many different ways and be capable of moving in so many different ways, you know, from strength, speed, balance, coordination, flexibility, suppleness, you know, endurance, you know, endurance in so many different ways of doing different actions, you know. Not a lot of people probably understand them words as in the detail of what I'm saying. You know, I'm looking at you and you're going, okay, now I've got one this afternoon like that. But what I'm saying to you is the sacrifice, you know, how much do you sleep? How much do you eat? How much do you drink? You know, all them factors, if you get that wrong, your performance, it drops. Yeah,
massively. And I think, like I say, with food as well, that's another big thing, because it's all about that perfect balance. Yeah. Because if we eat too much, we'll feel, you know, flip around and spin around a bar. You don't want your stomach to feel like a washing machine, and you're like, you know. But then also sometimes you undereat, and then you get to training and you're like I do feel good and I feel light, but I'm starving. You know, and you die out really quickly. So it's that fine balance of like trying to get enough food in without eating too close to training, without eating too much.
Windows of opportunity.
Yeah. And again, most of us gymnasts are actually dehydrated more than hydrated. We tend to hydrate after the session massively, but before training sessions, we'd all prefer to be a little bit more dehydrated. Just because it's that water weight, you know, we've got to swing around, we've got to pull ourselves up, hold ourselves up, things like that. And just by feeling a little bit heavy in the stomach, a little bit, you know, wishy-washy, it can make your session be brilliant to terrible. So
1%, isn't it?
Yeah.
Marginal gains.
It's honestly this fine balance of, and that's the other thing. Like there'll be times where we'll have, say for example, we get drugs tested, and they'll be like, all you gymnasts are always so dehydrated. Like, and we're like, yeah, I know. It's just how we prefer to be. But then when the session's finished, I'm literally like necking drinks like down all through the night. So I think that's where I make up for it. Not so much before the session, but during the session a little bit, after the session, massively rehydrate. Like that's me. So yeah, it's different. It's crazy how it's different for different sports and how you have to feel certain ways and be different ways for different sports. I think that's really, don't know, it's crazy to think that.
So let's get to it then, mate. So 2 gold medals, World Championships, European Championships,
and Commonwealths.
Commonwealth, see, well. There he is, there he is, see. I knew we'd get that one in. See, I led you to that. So, you know, someone who loves sport, you know, everyone goes football, but love sport. I love listening to people like yourself. You know, I love listening to people who have got to the top or have got an accolade, which no one can ever take that away from you. Yeah. Because to get to that, you know, you've had to dedicate your whole life to get there. So, the medal in front of us, talk to us about that.
That was probably one of my scariest moments, but proudest moments. I think, you know, it's everyone's dream to become a world champion. You know, I think you can become a European champion, you can become a British champion, all those stuff, but to become a world champion, to know that I'm now ranked #1 in the world on floor is unbelievable. And like I say, it was one of the scariest moments of my life. I'm standing, we're about to march out, you know, it's a home World Championships. I'm at Liverpool, I'm in the M&S Bank Arena.
Yeah.
You know, I've got the British people there, you know, arena's almost a sellout. And I just remember like my heart was just beating. Because I was part of this, you know, this is one big floor final.
Yeah.
And I'm stood there thinking,
I'm gonna tell you a funny story in a minute.
this is it, I'm here. This, you know, I'm doing it. Like, I've made it, I've qualified, I'm here, I'm about to walk out. And then I just remember like feeling my heart going massively, so I just started to do the breathing exercises of really taking in like long, calm, deep breaths, release, and it really just brought back down my heart rate. And then I was like, do you know what? I'm just gonna go out there and enjoy it. Go out there, enjoy it, do what I do best. This is my piece, this is my apparatus, this is what I've trained for. I'm here, but you know, I've trained so hard to be here.
Good.
Let's enjoy it, let's soak up this moment. And when I walked out, I remember, you know, just looking around, seeing everyone in the crowd, and I was just like waving to people and stuff, and just taking it all in.
I'm going to tell you a funny story. So when you won that medal, right,
Yeah.
and I'm watching the TV, it was on the BBC, yeah, right?
Yeah.
So obviously, when the gymnastic stuff was on the tally, it switches, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So I seen, obviously, you getting to where you got, right? And it was the first time I've been on a treadmill in about, I was fit, but first time I decided to do a proper run. And I ended up staying. A 10-minute run turned into an hour run, and I ended up pulling my hamstring when, and this is the God's honest truth, when you won, I've gone, come on, Giarnni, like that in the gym, and everyone's gone like that, and I've come off the treadmill. Do you see someone just go like that? And I'm like, Giarnni's won the medal, Giarnni's won the medal. But do you know what though? Because I got to know you, and got to know you day to day, and the way you live your life, and got to know your family, sacrifices. I was absolutely over the moon for you, mate. And this is why, you know, it's not just about the gold medal, because I know you're not the person who just sits there staring at a gold medal.
No.
You want another one.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, you've done it once, you want to do it again and again. You know, I go back to saying what I say to people is, don't be a museum, be a factory.
Yeah.
Keep getting them, keep producing, keep changing your game, keep evolving. But that is an unbelievable achievement. And, you know, from me, from other people who I told you coming here today, number one was, do you know what? Forget what you do. You deserve it as a person, mate.
Thank you.
You're grounded, you know. There's so many factors away from sport which help you, and people always look out for you because of the way you are.
Yeah.
So don't ever change that. You know, don't ever change that, because, you know, bringing you on here and being able to hear that story, you know, for me, there's probably 1 million people in this country, or children or parents, who are linked to gymnastics or any sport, but especially gymnastics, and the sacrifices, parents sat in the cars, you know, people sat there for 4 hours watching you guys doing front flips, back flips, jumping up and down a trampoline, whatever it is. It's worth it. Don't ever forget that. You know, them days where you go, should I take them? Don't. Because that might be that one session where something changes. That might be that one session where they go from being bang average to being elite. Yeah. You know? Yeah. And before you come on, I really had a good look at everything, you know, and watched some of the footage, and you know, it's an amazing achievement. It's an amazing achievement, mate. And so you are where you are now. Yep. Since you obviously got the awards, got the accolades you got, has anything else changed for you, as in your approach, any support?
Yeah, I mean, since I won this medal, I was actually dealing with an injury at the time. I'd torn my biceps tendon. It was on its last legs. It wasn't fully ruptured. It was near enough, 80% torn. It was, And for me, you know, I've constantly been through injuries after injuries. And I just wanted my body to recover.
Heal.
I wanted my body just to heal. I wanted my mind to heal, because of, you know, you got the stress and pressure of these major competitions, and you got that pressure, but then you've also got the stress and worry of, okay, my body is not holding up anymore. You know, so you're dealing with so many different things, and I was like, right, do you know what? I've had a fantastic year, you know, multi-Commonwealth medalist, multi-European medalist, multi-world medalist now, you know, so one of the best years of my career. Now I just need to take some time, because my body, you know, this is, I am my own tool, like, you know, I am my job.
You are the business, mate.
Like,
you are the business.
It's not like I go to work and I have to use a set of tools.
Yeah.
I am the tool.
Exactly,
And actually, if I don't take care of myself, then I'm not going to be able to do what I do best. So I decided to take some time off. I had about 6 months out. I had 2 surgeries in that time. Cleaning up the shoulder, then reattaching the biceps tendon. And it was hard. And I think during that period, you question yourself, and you question what direction you think your life's going to go now. And for me, there was a few times where I was almost like, you know what, I don't think I'm coming back. I think, you know, I want to focus elsewhere. But I actually did a bit of like punditry work on the BBC for the European champs. And, you know, just sat there watching the competition, watching everyone out there, just inspired me. Just lit that, you know.
You wanted to be on the other side of that.
Yeah. And I knew then, from that point on, it's like, this ain't over yet. It's not over, because if it was, I wouldn't feel that way. I wouldn't feel that, you know, just that little like twitchiness just to want to get out there. And that's when, you know, I'm getting back in the gym.
But this is it though, like, you know, I'll give you a comparison with myself. You know, I went through a tough time in my life, and you know, I'll be straight, you know, and it kills me to say this, but it's the truth. I probably wasn't looking after my body, like, from my own point of view, you know, looking back, I was probably damaging my body, as in like the way I was living my life, you know.
Yeah.
Obviously I wasn't in the best place, and I've worked so hard like you for my body to move the way it does, for me to have the knowledge I've got, to have the understanding, the passion, the love, and for a period I just lost it.
Yeah.
Just lost it, and bigger things were taking over my mind. I wasn't myself, and I just remember one day I just walked back out to a field what I'd been on as a boy, where I started, literally. Yeah. And I just remember talking to myself, going, "What the fuck are you doing? What are you doing?" Because no one can do stuff the way you do it. Yeah. And I think sometimes in life it's not about being vain or about being big-headed, but when I've sacrificed so much in my life to be able to coach, deliver, deal with people the way I do, you know, I was wasting a talent. And maybe that time away from it has reignited me now to never be away from it again. Because I know how important it is, and makes me tick, and makes me happy. Makes you happy, even though at times it can do your head in. And you think, fuck's sake, you know. And I'm on the other side, you know, I'm the one who's 9 out of 10 barking the orders. But what I'm saying is still, is when it's right, and when that person gets to where they want to be, there's no better feeling, mate. You can put money wherever you want, you can put any object in the world. When you see someone who has committed their life to achieve a gold medal, a trophy, an accolade, a time, you know, whatever sport you're in, a title, and you know you've played a part of that, or for the person who's really sacrificed and put the work in, you know, that feeling, I don't think you can compare that. You know, I don't think you can compare that. And I think you've got, as a human being, Gianni, you've got talent, you've got a level which, that speaks for itself. You know, the way you are as a person, I think you've just got to keep sharing your story now. And you've got to keep inspiring people, and, you know, everyone loves the top moments and the photographs and, you know, the medals, the trophies, the pats on the back. But it's the dark times, it's the low times, it's the hard times. It's the times where you go, my body can't do this no more. My brain, I can't keep being on this physio bench. I can't keep going for scans. I can't keep, you know, but when you get through it and you look back, you go, actually, that's made me who I am now.
Yeah, definitely.
So you probably wouldn't have got that medal without all them tough times. We wouldn't be sat here now if I wouldn't have been through what I've been through in life.
Yeah.
You know, and, you know, all I say is, you know, keep doing what you're doing, mate.
Yeah.
Because the day you give it up, you'll miss it.
Yeah, I know.
You'll miss it.
I
You'll
will.
miss it.
Yeah.
You miss it, and do as much as you can as your body allows you.
Yeah.
That's what you got to do. So now then, moving forward, you've achieved what you've achieved. You've been on this amazing journey, which has been in up, down, high, low. You know, it's dominated your life.
Yeah.
Right? What's the next mountain you're going to climb, mate? What's the next thing?
Mount Paris.
Yeah, is that what it is?
Yeah, I call it Mount Olympus. Going, for me, you know, the goal was Paris, Olympic Games. Going out to Tokyo. It wasn't the Olympic experience I wanted. You know, COVID.
Yeah.
We were having food and there was like these big plastic screens up. You know, and you're sat with your teammates, and even Team GB as a nation, we were isolated. So gymnastics stayed with gymnastics, you know, athletics stayed with athletics, and
football with the football.
All that. Everyone was isolated. Everyone was, and we were one team. And it just wasn't that experience that I wanted. You know, you're walking out, Olympic Games, biggest competition of your career, your life. You're seeing the rings everywhere, and you're looking out and you're like, empty benches. Yeah. That's all it is. You know, I'm used to walking out and, you know, just hearing roars and cheers and
the energy,
and
energy.
You literally walk out and it was just silence, and you could just hear it was classical music playing in the background, and I just remember thinking, is this it? Is this what we're getting? And, you know, for me, I could have done better at the Olympics. I myself put too much pressure on my own shoulders and let that get the better of me as well. I think I became a little bit overwhelmed by the occasion. And I know I can do better. I know I'm capable of more. I didn't perform to my potential at that Olympic Games. We come fourth as a team. Again, it's a hard place to finish, you know. And then I missed out on the floor final by 0.1, which is literally, like I say, it's like having a flexed toe in the air, or like taking the baby step on a landing. That's the difference between making a final and going home. Yeah. So for me, it's, let's go to Paris. Let's actually, you know, let's enjoy that experience. Let's walk out to an arena full of people. Let's go and just mix with other athletes, and, you know, just really soak up that experience. Culture, and be present.
People, the way other people live, the way other people train. Yeah. You know, one thing what I've, you know, been really fortunate is through sport is travel the world, meet people who I never would have met without being able to do what I do. And it's life lessons. Yeah. Some people will take this much, some people go with an open mind, and they'll just get as much as they can. So.
And I think one thing I've learned as well, and which I used last year massively, was to just be present, live in that moment and take everything in, because I think, I could be wrong, but a lot of athletes, me myself as well, and I know a few of the other boys that, you know, are in the team, we always, you know, we train so hard for this one moment, we train so hard for the competition, but when it comes to competition day, we're all like, oh, I can't wait till it's all done, can't wait to get back, without actually enjoying that moment, enjoying being there.
I think though, when you're in a sporting environment and you travel, a lot of the time you don't see anything other than the arena you're in. Yeah. Hotels, arena. Yeah. Rest, recovery, and people don't really allow that time to take in the culture, to take in the place you're in, the sights. Yeah. You know, And I think that's important for you as well, because you're only young still.
Yeah.
You're only young. But I think what you've got to do is, as well as going out there and smashing and achieving your goals, which you'll do, and I'm sure you've learnt from the past, you've tweaked things, you've changed things. It's your time now, mate.
Yeah.
It's your time. You've got the whole country behind you. You know, you've got people around the world who've seen your level now, who will look out for you and follow you. But the only pressure you need to put on yourself is do your best.
Yeah.
And you know what? Enjoy yourself.
Yeah.
Because I think what's really important is to take away is no matter what sport you're in, the scariest people to ever compete against are the ones with the smiles on their face.
Yeah.
Where they're going, do you know what? I've prepared as much as I can.
Yeah.
I can't do no more. I'm just going to do what I do.
Yeah, that's it. Let's have fun. That's it. And that's what I done last year. Last year I walked out, Commonwealth Games, incredible, best crowd, probably one of the best competitions ever, you know, and to compete on my birthday, I had a final on my birthday. The whole crowd sang me happy birthday, and I took that in, and I was watching it actually the other day, just flicked through the memories, and I just like hear it in the background, and same with Liverpool, being in Liverpool. And like you say, you know, it's like arena, hotel, hotel.
Yeah.
I was like, why can't I just be a bit more normal, do what I do, just go about, relax a little bit. And actually 2 days before we competed, done the qualifications at Worlds, I went over to Anfield, I watched Liverpool play.
Yeah, good.
But everyone else was like, no, we need to stay in our hotel room, we need to, you know, get our heads down, focus and all that. And I'm like,
But that switches off you, doesn't it?
I just want to,
distractions away from the pressure.
Yeah, I think I'm just going to sit there in my room and dwell on, right, I'm competing in 2 days, oh my God, like I need, you know, let's just do what I'd normally do if I'm just trying to treat this like, okay, I've competed loads of times, it's just another training session. Yeah. What would I normally do? I'd normally go home and play a little bit of gaming or something, or if the football's on, I'd watch it on TV. Yeah. And it happened to be that there was a game on, so me and my teammate, we went over to Anfield, just chilled out, enjoyed the night, come back. Next day, woke up, trained, got ready. Following day, we competed, and that's it. I think for me, that mindset, and it may sound crazy, but actually, that helped me massively, relaxed me, kept me calm,
switch off.
Yeah. So, and then I went on to have one of the best competitions.
So, well, Gianni, I don't want to take any more of your time up, mate. No. But some real powerful messages there, you know, for parents, for athletes, for coaches, for mentors. I think there's so much which, from the industry you're in, from the sport you're in, what then can be transferred into so many other things in life, you know. And, you know, all I want to say to you is, look, I'm fully behind you, you know, always have been, mate. I think you're a great guy, from a great family, you know, and you just got to keep doing what you're doing, mate. Yeah. All right? Yeah. Thank you for your time, pal.
I appreciate it. Thank you for having me.
Top man. Thank you.
Thank you.